pancreatitis. We take pancreatitis very seriously and got very aggressive with our treatment. After 3 or 4 days of her getting a little better, but not really as well as I expected, we said, well, let's look further. We did some x-rays, and I thought I saw a mass in the abdomen. This is an x-ray of our barium series that we were doing, where we give a contrast medium, which is the real bright stuff you can see here, to where it outlines the GI tract. This is out of the stomach, and you can see there's this big void of GI space right down through here. That's our pancreatic tumor. As you can see, all this is displaced back away from this. It should all just be intermingled. We knew we had to do something, so we did an exploratory surgery, hoping that it was a splenic tumor, something that we could easily take out. And when we got in there, we found out that her pancreas was full of cancer. It was going into her liver, and there really wasn't anything we could do surgically for her. So we just closed her back up. Well, we talked to the Snyders, and we had a conversation that, she wasn't going to get better. It was very tragic. They said, well, should we just put her to sleep on the table? We said, no, let's we've already got her closed up. Let's wake her up, send her home, let everybody love on her for a few days, and then when it got to the point it was time to put her to sleep, then we would face that, expecting that probably in a very few days. We stayed in contact over the next week or two, and we were talking back and forth regularly because, we're all in this together. And she was telling me she was getting better, which is very exciting. And as time goes on, she was just continuing to do good. We saw her back, and we could still feel a mass in her abdomen. I expected her, us to be putting her to sleep within a few days, just because of what I've seen. I saw this tumor and how aggressive it was in her abdomen with my own eye. It was too extensive to do anything surgically. Pancreatic cancer, that's one of the worst cancers that people get as well as animals get. It's devastating. It's bad stuff, and an incredible story. We've kept up with her, and we said, okay, what are you doing? What's different? What's going on? And she was telling us about she was giving her goat's milk twice a day. When she mentioned she was giving goat's milk, I thought, wow, I don't know what good that's doing, but she's my miracle dog, so let's keep it up. Don't change anything that you're doing. Yeah. I really don't know what the goat's milk's doing, why she's doing so well. But that's the only thing that's really different than we've ever done before. I can't say that the goat's milk has cured it. I can tell you she still has something in her abdomen. The mass is still there. But she's doing good for 20 months. I don't know really what it's doing, how it works, if it would work again, but it's sure worth a try.
So Zeta's still living. It's been 28 months now, and it truly is a miracle if you know about pancreatic cancer and the fact that it had already metastasized. I was very, very excited. I don't know if it would work as well for every dog, yes.
Is she feeding just goat's milk?
She was in the beginning, and now she feeds our Answers diet and the goat's milk. Goat milk.
Have they re-ultrasounded her?
I don't know. I have to reach out to the owner. I know he's been palpating her and to feel the tumor, like he said in there. But I don't think not that I'm aware of, but I can check in on the case. But I know she's doing well because I get the bills because I decided to feed her. Because I'm like, okay, you came this far, girlfriend. I'm going to help you out. So she, goat milk. This is the second case I've heard this way. The other one was a veterinarian in Stratford, Virginia. I can't think of her name. I have her card sitting on my desk. But her dog had pancreatic cancer and was surviving on the goat milk. And she even made the comment to me that the dog was doing so well she forgot he was sick. Mm-hmm. And that's tough. But there's certain things about goat milk. One, it's high in CLA, which is cancer-fighting fat. It's also high in medium-chain fatty acids, so it does not require any digestion. And because ours is fermented, again, it's not requiring really anything from the pancreas, so it can really help these animals. And it really works well for pancreatitis, too, because it rests the pancreas. So other case studies we've had, this was one with Sadie. You cannot see how bad and how red Sadie is, but she was a shelter dog, and they were going to euthanize her because for 2 years she'd been on antibiotic, steroids, and medication to help her skin, and she smelled really bad. And one of the stores who was working with the shelter came to me and said, do you think we can, you know, they're giving us 30 days, do you think we can help Sadie? And I'm like, poor thing, you know, it's going to be pretty tough to just throw her on milk because she's on drugs and bad food, but we decided, well, it's probably better than euthanizing her. So we did, and in 30 days she went from this to this and from that to that, which is pretty amazing. But she also went through a terrible detox. I don't know if you can see this hot spot right here, but she was pretty uncomfortable. I would not have done this if I had more than 30 days. I would have put her on a raw diet, I would have weaned her into the food, she would detox slower, and she wouldn't have been as uncomfortable. But I think if you ask Sadie, she's now adopted, that is probably worth going through it. But this is part of why this product and these types of food need to be in the hands of the veterinarians, because that stuff needs to be managed, okay? And veterinarians can also help with homeopathy, acupuncture, chiropractic, different things to help mitigate the detox, you know. So, and that's why I love working with Julie and Dr. Pima, because, you know, otherwise if people are taking these things on their own, and sometimes, you know, that scares me, you know, especially depending on what the case is. So, if you've never had our raw milk, our product, the kefir and the goat milk, they will have curds. That's the #1 complaint I get about them, because people are scared of the curds. If you haven't ever used it, it takes very long to thaw in the refrigerator, like 3 days. If you're traveling and camping, it works out to be really good ice packs, because they last longer than any ice pack that I've ever known. However, you can thaw it on the countertop. And the #1 question I get is, oh my goodness, I put it out, I forgot about it, it's warm, is it still good? And my answer is, no, it's better. You just created more probiotics. So that, and I always get that moment of silence for, did you say it's better? So that's the uniqueness. It does have calories. If your animal's fighting weight and you're going to add this to their diet, then you're going to have to decrease their food, okay? But that's not uncommon. The goat milk's a little, the cow milk's a little higher in fat than the goat milk, and they work differently. If you have an animal you're trying to put weight on, I always recommend the cow milk, because the type of fat that's in the cow milk will actually stick to the body and put weight on an animal, versus the goat milk is, because it has more medium chain fatty acid, has less ability to put the weight on. However, because of its bioavailability, sometimes it will too. Any questions on the milk products?
Actually, I did have one, as it occurred to me. These animals that you've worked on that have been so ill, have they ever refused to drink the milk? You know, they're so ill they won't. So you have to do something to get it in them?
They're very common, and this works for cats too, is they're so sick they're nauseous. And many times we just have to syringe it for like 3 days. Did you have to do syringing?
IBD.
With her, she was working with the digestive problem, the IBD, and they don't want to eat. It's painful. And sometimes when you get the goat milk in them, it soothes them. And I don't know if this ever happened to anybody else, but I've read for years how good sushi is for you nutritionally. I know it probably has parasites, but we're going to look at the nutrition side. So I convinced myself to start eating sushi because I knew it was good for me. And then I started craving sushi. Okay? Because my body was getting nutrients that it wasn't getting. And you know, once you know, and that's what I see happening with the dogs and cats. Once they start consuming it, then they want it, because I think it's an innate understanding that this is good for me type of thing. So we have a very, 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 very small percentage of animals that we can't get it into them. Yes?
So if I have an allergy dog who loves the goat milk and chops it down, but